Hey guys, John here at JB Total Fitness, and in this video I want to talk about one of the reasons why you may not be seeing the kind of results from your training that you want. Now there are many different and many other ways that and reasons why you're not making progress due to it could be training intensity, it could be the execution of exercises, it could be exercise selection, nutrition, lifestyle, lots of things. But this is just the one thing that I want to talk about and could really help people in the gym to get results. And it is keeping a muscle under tension through the lengthened position of that muscle all the way through to the shortened position, the contracted position. And most people in the gym are just not doing this. They're moving from A to B and they're not contracting. They're not loading up the muscle in the lengthened position and finding an exercise that does that. And then they're not finding an exercise that allows them to get into the very shortened range of that muscle and really contract hard. And if you can start to implement this into your training, you're going to see a lot of difference in your physique and a lot of progress. And in this video, I'm going to take you through just two exercises that I've selected. The first one I'm going to select is the glutes. So for females that are looking to improve their glutes, grow their glutes, and get progress from their glutes, then I'm going to show you a glute bridge, and I'm going to show you two different versions of a glute bridge that are going to help you to load up in the lengthened position and load up in the shortened position. And then for the guys, and also for females as well, I'm going to show you one for shoulders. And one of the big areas that I'm working on is trying to help improve my delts and the roundness in my delts. And there are two different exercises that we can do. One of them is very obvious, but the other one is something you may not have thought about, and how we're going to keep tension, particularly in the lengthened position. Alright guys, so I'll see you in the next half of the video, and I'll talk you through the ideas behind the execution and why we do them. So guys, this first exercise we're going to do is a barbell glute bridge. Now usually you would have a pad on here. I've not gone too heavy, but this is going to be predominantly my heavier exercise for glutes. I'm going to be able to load it up quite high on here. We can get very strong here. Okay, so right across the hip, onto the bench, upper back on the bench. Now down here, I'm going to drive through and squeeze my glutes as hard as I can, keeping tension in the glutes all the way through that movement, all the way down, not losing tension. And we're trying to drive the hips through as much as we possibly can, as high as we can, and keep that back as flat as possible. We don't want to be arching the back. We want to be driving the glutes through, okay, and the hips up and through. Keeping my chin down on my chest and drive. Now that is a great movement to load, as I said, put a lot of load through the glutes and really drive through. Now the next exercise I'm going to show you is one to get our glutes into a much more shortened position and have more of an ability to get into the shortened position. Okay guys, what I've done here is I've anchored down a band, and this is the movement that is going to allow me to get my glutes into a much more shortened position, a lot easier, and really contract a lot harder at the top of this movement. So the band is going to now get more resistance, or apply more resistance to the movement the higher I go. So it's easier at the bottom and a lot harder at the top. So if we come into that same position here it's quite easy, but as I drive through that, and I'm really able to pinch and squeeze my glutes hard now, I'm able to get a lot more tension into the glutes at the top and really take the glutes into the shortened position a lot easier than the barbell, which is heavily loaded. Now each exercise is just as important as the other. The first exercise with the barbell is really good to get a lot of strength into or improve the strength into the glutes and get a lot of load through that movement. But then rigging up a band is going to be really helpful, particularly at the top of the movement, and really to get the glutes into its shortened position. Okay guys, with that in mind, can we now start to adapt it to other movements, such as, let's say, dumbbell lateral raises? So if I am using dumbbells, okay, seated dumbbell lateral raises, I'm taking the weight up and away, and I'm going to start working that medial delt there and controlling the weight all the way down. So there's no throwing of weight around, sitting nice and tall, driving the weight around, shoulder height, trying to keep my shoulders depressed down, nice upright position, and controlling them up and down. Now, with this particular movement, as I drive the weight away from me, this movement, this exercise becomes more difficult, okay? It becomes a lot easier and less tension is applied to the delt as you start to lower down, and you can very easily lose a lot of the tension, or will lose a lot of the tension. So it's great for here and getting that medial delt into a shortened position, but it's not so great as it starts to lower down. So now we can start to look at other movements such as cables that are going to allow us to work that bottom range of the movement under tension and get development, a lot more development out of that muscle group. So guys, cables are a great tool to use and put into your training because they're able to get load into a movement where free weights might not, okay? And for instance, this one. So what we're going to do here, first exercise was seated dumbbell lateral raises. And it's really good for that upper part of the movement to get the muscle into more of a shortened position, but as it decreases, it loses tension. So if we can then start to use leaning cable raises and just start to use that bottom portion of the movement till we get that 90-degree angle on the cable and the arm as my top position, I'm now going to start to use and should acquire more tension onto the delt on that bottom portion, okay? And I'm going to get a lot more development out of that muscle, okay? So just going through the bottom part of the movement, we're not having to bring it up here, just directly down from my shoulder. My hand is directly under my shoulder, taking it away to that 90-degree angle there and back down. And putting those two exercises together, I'm going to get a lot more development out of my delts, and just by using those two movements, one for the top end of the movement and the other one for the bottom end of the movement, you're going to see a lot more progression from your physique that way. So guys, I hope you've got something from this video. I hope that it's made sense. I hope that you're able to go and start to implement that into your training. Remember, this can be implemented and should be implemented into every exercise that you're doing. Start to think about what your actual muscle is doing. Is it under tension in the lengthened position all the way through the shortened position? And start selecting exercises that help you to do that. Not just can I move from A to B and up the load that I'm using. Hope it's been helpful. If you need any more information of what we do and how we help people in our private gym to fulfill their physique and fat loss goals, then please get in touch, hit the link that's connected to the video, and I'd love to help. See you soon.